and bring the foam roller about the center of our back, tips of the scapula. Now, if you guys have done this with me before, you probably know some of what I'm going to say, and that's great. So hopefully each time it just starts to release more or dig a little deeper and feel a little better. So if you were to reach your one arm forward and feel the tip of your scapula, you want it to start there underneath the foam roller. Hands come behind the head and soften your shoulders and really feel kind of like they're melting towards your back pockets, and glide your elbows so that you see them out of the corners of your eyes. So they're right in your periphery. Keep the low ribs and your pelvis still. Try not to arch in your low back. We're trying to open our thoracic spine. So keeping those low ribs anchored, start to articulate and fan open from the sternum. Nice wide collarbones, and then exhale to lift. Inhale to open, and exhale to lift. Inhale to open, widen the collarbones, float up through the heart, and exhale to lift, head, neck, and chest, hold. Now, like your back is up against a pane of glass, squeegee it clean as you massage up against the foam roller, those one or two vertebrae that you feel against the foam roller. Last two. And one. Back through center, and then little massage up and down. Again, kind of stay on just those one or two vertebrae. Nice and easy. Feel the spread of your feet. You're pushing down into the heels to lift the bottom, and the sides of your neck are soft because you're cradling your head in your hands. Now roll the foam roller up an inch from where we started and lower your bottom down again. So now it's really kind of between your scapula, pulling your elbows together just a little bit, widen the back of your body. Anchor your ribs and inhale to float up and back. Reaching the line of your chest towards the wall behind you, and then exhale to lift back up. Inhale, widen your collarbones and lift through your heart, and exhale to pivot. Stay anchored in those low ribs. Stay anchored in your pelvis. Last one, floating up and back. Exhale to lift, and then pivot side to side, kneading into the center of your back, up against the foam roller. Last three, two, and one. Nice and gentle. Push down into the feet to lift the bottom, and roll up an inch and down an inch, and up an inch and down an inch. Nice and easy, little rocking side to side. Then roll the foam roller up an inch higher and lower the bottom down. So now we're more at the top of our scapula. Anchor through those ribs and articulate your heart up and back, and then pivot and lift. Now, range of motion for each of these areas might feel just a little different. Open and pivot. And widen your collarbones, lifting up and back. And pivot. Pushing down into your feet to lift your bottom, and then massage higher on the top of the scapula, upper part of your back. And then carefully soften and release. Take a breather. From here, let go of your head. Reconnect with the center of your mat and your foam roller. The foam roller tends to travel. So I just want you to put yourself back in the middle, because we're going to go through our full rinse now. So with the hands behind your head, lift your bottom, and you're going to roll up to the top of your scapula and all the way down to the bottom of your ribs. Stay on your rib cage. Big, broad brush strokes up and down your back. Now roll towards me just a little bit, and I want you to stay up under the arm, through the side of your armpit, little massage into your lats. Last 2. And 1. Flipping to the other side, up and down on the other side. Last 2. And 1. And carefully roll back through center. One more big broad brush stroke. And then slowly settle the hips. Lift yourself up, coming all the way up. So again, recenter yourself on the mat. That foam roller likes to travel. Pressing yourself up onto the foam roller. You're going to sit on the foam roller, kind of like it's a chair. Your feet in front of you. Now, if you're more comfortable, you can stay just like this. That's okay. Or we'll bring our hands behind us. And let's spiral the fingertips towards the back of the room so that you're lifted through your heart just a little bit. Kind of widen your collarbones. Now you're going to swing your bottom down and lift up. Down and lift up. Now I have a nice stretch across my pecs and on the inside of my biceps too. So I kind of like this hand position because it really feels like I'm opening up my heart at the same time that I'm massaging my sacrum. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Good. Turning towards me, you're going to come down onto that elbow and crisscross your foot over the opposite knee. And now you're going to roll up and down on the outside of that hip. Lengthen that bottom leg out. So you're going to push into your feet just a little bit. Roll the foam roller to the middle of your thigh. And you're going to roll up and down on the outside of your thigh. Now, option here, you can keep the leg where it's at, or sometimes it feels better to put it in front of the opposite leg. And as you roll up and down, I want you to take a big brush stroke, then bend the knee, extend the knee, and soften back. So pull, bend, extend, and soften. Pull, bend, extend, and soften. Last 2, pull, bend. Now this is a lot on your shoulders, so if you need to take a breather, that's okay too. Last 1. Extend and soften. Continue to roll through center, bringing both feet or both elbows and both legs over the foam roller, and gentle strokes up and down. Last 4. Give me 3. Last 2. And 1. Carefully shift your weight back. The knees will come down. And we're going to flip now to seated facing this way to complete our circle. So you can move the foam roller. Sometimes I actually find it easier holding the foam roller still and moving myself. So it just kind of depends, whatever works for you. Again, those hands can come beside you, behind you, and rock up and down. Carefully, you're going to flip towards, this is the leg we haven't done now. It's my left facing towards me. Figure 4 that foot over the other one. And then up and down. So we're now massaging the other side. Last 4. 3. Give me 2. And 1. And soften. From here, carefully lift your hips to roll that foam roller towards the middle part of your thigh. Again, you can keep the foot at the back if you want. Ooh, this one's a little tighter. Or place it in front. And as you pull towards your knee, bend, extend, and slide back down. Pull, bend, extend, and slide. Pull, bend, extend, and slide. Let's do 4. Last 3. Give me 2. Almost there. Last one. Pull and soften and release. Carefully drop your hips back. Let's go ahead and flip the foam roller lengthwise. You're going to come to seated on the foam roller. Now here's a little added challenge if you want it. Starting on the sharp edge of your sit bones, reach your fingertips forward. We're going to lay ourselves down. If that's not for you today, you can walk yourself backwards. That's just fine. Sitting on the sharp edge of your sit bones, I feel as though my pelvis is like wrapping around the foam roller, dropping down. And then I start to turn on my sit bones and spread myself down, all the way down, nice and easy. Circling those arms up and back, all the way down along beside us. Let's take a little check-in here, and I want you to feel the weight of your head, the spread of your rib cage, and the weight of your pelvis. You should have a little bit of negative space underneath your lumbar spine and at the back of your neck. We're going to rock to the right, like your whole body's just going to shift over and fall, and then rock to the left. Rock to the right. And rock to the left. Go back and forth, almost like you're kind of recalibrating where your center line is. And then balance right in between. Really feeling both feet firmly grounded. Let's flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Now, if at any point you should feel tinglings or numbness through your arms, lift up out of it just a little bit. Gravity's helping to open up our chest, but I don't want you to stretch, overextend too far. So start to circle your fingertips out to the sides of the room. How can you really widen the back of your body and spiral your scapula open? And then circle them all the way back down. Let's do 4. And stretch away from your center. I want you to feel how the scapula fan open at the back of your body and then pull back down and together. You're using the foam roller to challenge your balance, to engage the abdominals, and bring awareness to your shoulder mobility. Last one, circle those arms wide and through the back of your body. Keep the sides of your neck and your shoulders quiet. Now reaching here, did you let go of your ribs? Or can you really make certain you're pulling your ribs down and together, but stretching from underneath your arms into your lats? Interlace your fingers, however feels most comfortable. We're going to do a little opposite kind of swivel. I want you to drop your shoulder girdle over to the left and your rib cage and knees over to the right. Pull back up through center. Drop your rib cage over towards the right and your knees over towards the left. Swiveling, and wrap your body around the foam roller. I picture like a candy cane, how those red and white stripes twist around each other and really spiral around your center, all the way back up. Let's do once more. Opening up through the ribs and the waist, and back up. And last one. And back up. Bending at your elbows. I want us to come back to that, I guess you could say the windshield wiper. So with your upper body, just kind of your rib cage, I want you to start to windshield wipe the foam roller underneath you. Slide your left rib towards your left hip, and then slide your right rib towards your right hip. And kind of knead the center of your back up against that foam roller. Again, I always think of Baloo in Jungle Book, how he's got that scratch. He's really got a itch back there. Last one, nice and easy. Carefully bring the hands down along beside you. We're going to move into some pelvic work and some bridge. Now, bridge on the foam roller feels just a little bit different because our hips are already higher than our heels. So just to take assessment of what the range of motion is and try to focus on using the foam roller to articulate through the spine. Inhale to find that nice, soft, relaxed pelvis. Then exhale, start to turn the wheel of the pelvis. Stand into the feet and feel a little bit like you're going to pull in and up the front front of your body, slowly bringing your pelvis up off of the foam roller. I also like bridge on the foam roller because my chest is opening this whole time. It just feels nice and open. Inhale at the top and exhale. How do you reach your sit bones towards your heels and lay your spine down on the foam roller, one vertebra at a time, releasing at the bottom, let it soften. And exhale, stand into the feet. Turn the wheel of your pelvis and start to scoop up through the front of your body. Inhale, widen to the ribs, deep into your lungs. And exhale, draw your ribs down. Reach your sit bones towards your heels and let it soften. Last one. Exhale, turn and stand into your feet. Peeling up the front of your hips, one vertebra at a time. Inhale. And exhale, reach and elongate the back of your body all the way back down and let it soften. Let's work through our 9 and our 3 o'clock just a little bit. So our hip swivel. And what I want you to think of is the femur bone. So what's happening with our legs? Our feet are going to stay nice and planted. I want you to glide that right femur bone away from you and feel like your left hip is going to drop off the side of the foam roller. And then draw back in and slide your left femur bone away from you. Draw your right hip off as though it's falling to the mat underneath you, and then back through center. A little rocking in the pelvis. A little side to side. It's not very big. If it's so big that your legs are starting to move a lot more than mine, you're pulling it, you're not working from the pelvis. So try to really feel almost like the back of your pelvis is pulling down towards the floor as that opposite femur bone is gliding away. And then back in, last one each. Pull the femur bone deep into the socket as the opposite leg glides away. And then back in. Pull back and down and reach the opposite hip away. And back in. We're going to start to make it bigger. Now if you lose me on this one, you can come back to just straight lift and lower. But we're going to kind of make an around the world with our pelvis. So what I want you to do is glide your right femur bone away, pull your left hip back. Now start to turn the wheel of your pelvis and lift up on the left side of your rib cage, left side of your spine. Stack your hips at the top. Now glide your left femur bone away, pull your right hip back, and lay yourself back down, reaching all the way back down. Release through center, glide the right femur bone away, pull your left hip back, turn and scoop, lifting up. Feel the left adductor hamstring help you out. All the way up, square. Now reach your left leg away and pull your right waist in and up as you lengthen all the way back down. Nice and easy. Last one. Connect to your center. Soften the left hip back and down. Then scoop and lift, reaching that right leg away from you. Right femur bone extends. Pull back through center. And pull your right femur bone back as you reach left femur bone away, lengthening all the way down. Release at the very bottom, soften. Now we reverse. Pull your right femur bone back and lengthen your left femur bone away. Start to scoop and curl the pelvis up, one vertebra at a time. Now reach your right femur bone away and lay yourself down on your left side, one vertebra at a time, releasing at the bottom, let it soften. This one's a rub your belly, pat your head. It's a thinker. Curling all the way up. Connect through your center and then reach the right femur bone away and lengthen as you lower. Back down, back through center, last one. Swivel, scoop, and articulate up. Up at the top, reach and lower. All the way back down, nice and easy. Let it soften. Let it relax. So I like doing that because I want you to find all aspects of what holds your pelvis still so that we can build good lumbopelvic stability. Both hands down along beside you, keeping your pelvis still. Now we're going to challenge our balance, drawing the right leg to tabletop position. Place it back down. Draw the left and place it back down. Start to use that 360 band of abdominals. adding on. Float that right leg, hold, bring the left leg to meet it. So a little bit of balance challenge here. You don't have to come all the way up if you don't want to. Tap your right toe down and then lift back up. Tap your left toe down and lift back up. Little alternating side to side. Last 4. Give me 3. Last 2. And last 1. Carefully place the right foot and then the left to meet it all the way down. So it's a great way to start to build that good abdominal strength. We'll carefully roll ourselves off and come all the way down. Let's go ahead. We're going to come back to bridge and we're going to add a balance challenge. So from here, that foam roller can stay underneath you. And I want you to start to lay yourself all the way down onto the mat. Bring the foam roller underneath the arches of your feet. So you don't have to use the foam roller here if you don't want to. It's up to you, but it's a good way to sort of really turn on those hamstrings. So hopefully we've just really loosened up our low back. We have a lot of mobility through our pelvis that we're going to come back to with a full range of motion in our bridge. Reaching through your fingertips, really feel like you're wrapping the upper part of the back of your arm down onto the mat, widening through your collarbones, pointing through your feet. Start to turn the wheel of your pelvis. Exhale, scooping the abdominals. Stand into the foam roller, lifting the hips up. You're standing into the spread of your shoulder girdle, pushing down into the arms. Inhale at your top. Exhale, draw your ribs away from your arms as you reach through your sit bones. Widen the collarbones and stretch your spine all the way back down, releasing at the bottom. And exhale, turn the wheel of your pelvis. Can you feel the spread of the arches of your feet to the sides of the little pinky toe down to the heel? Everything is connecting down onto the foam roller. Inhale at your top. And exhale, articulate through your spine. Reach the space between your first and second toe. Don't roll to the pinky side of your foot. Inhale. And last 2. Exhale. Turn the wheel of your pelvis. Start to scoop up the front of your body. Standing into the foam roller. Standing into the spread of your arms. Push energy down into the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Reach your sit bones towards your heels. Scoop the inside of your thighs towards you. And reach your sit bones all the way back down. Inhale. And last 1. Turning the wheel of your pelvis, start to peel yourself up. Standing into the spread of your arms. Reach the space between your first and second toe. Push to your heels, pull to your toes. Push to your heels, pull to your toes. Push and pull. And push and pull. Now that foam roller likes to travel. Last 3 and pull. Last 2 and 1. Reconnect and slowly sequence all the way back down, releasing at the very bottom. Let it soften. You can roll through the hips. Little stretch, a little release. And carefully bring that foam roller up underneath you. So close to your bottom, last bridge, I promise. Push down into the feet to lift the hips. So the foam roller is now underneath your pelvis. And I want you in this position to feel a little bit like the pelvis is sitting on a shelf. It's in its neutral, sitting on top of the foam roller. Keeping your pelvis still, draw your right leg to tabletop position and the left to meet it. Now from here, let's play just a little bit with what our pelvis is doing. Find a neutral. Now I want you to feel a little bit like you're going to fall off your side of the foam roller and scoop. Find a posterior tilt. Go back to your neutral. And then scoop. Find a posterior tilt. And last one, go back to your neutral. Just a little bit of movement, because I want you to find your neutral and I want you to hold it. So there's your scoop, and then find your neutral again. Holding your pelvis in its neutral. Reach your right leg up towards the ceiling and the left leg long in the opposite direction. If it's available to you, maybe you pull the leg towards you just a little bit of a stretch. Let's even flex the foot and see if that feels different. Keeping your neutral. Big reach. Carefully soften the knees, pull back in, reach the opposite leg up and the right leg long. Again, stretch through your heel, open up the front of your hip, keeping your pelvis in neutral. Then soften both knees. Let's go ahead, hold on to the foam roller. We're going to move through our bicycle. So both legs lengthen up, and I want you to try to keep your pelvis in its neutral position. Lengthen the leg away from you. Let's start on the right side. Right leg is long. Your pelvis is neutral. Start to bend the knee as you extend to the opposite leg. Find a moment of reach, then bend, extend, reach, bend, extend, reach, bend, extend, reach. Last 4. Extend, reach. 3. Extend, reach. Last 2. Extend, reach. Last 1. Extend, hold, reverse. Lift up and reach. Lift up and reach. Lift up. Keep that pelvis in neutral. It wants to wobble. Lengthen the legs away from your center. 4. And switch. 3. And switch. 2. And switch. Last 1. And all the way back up. Now let the wheel of your pelvis turn as you stretch your legs long towards the wall behind you and maybe give them a little bit of a pull. So now you're definitely in scooped position. Bend the knees towards your chest, and I want you to actually kind of hold the quads towards you. I want you to visualize how you've shortened the front of your body because you've compressed the rib cage and the chest, and you're elongating the back of your body. It's scooped. Feel the spread of your ribs down onto the mat. And we're just going to practice our breathing just a little bit here. If it helps, I want you to close your eyes, really visualize the weight of your rib cage and the spread of it down onto the mat. Now with an inhale, I want you to feel as though you could laterally expand through the ribs and imprint them down onto the mat. And with your exhale, scoop and pull the front of the body away from your quads. Inhale down into the back of your body. And exhale, scoop, pull the front of your body away from your quads. Last 2. Inhale, wide into the ribs, deep into the back of your lungs. Then exhale, pull the front of your rib cage as though it could melt through your body down onto the mat. And last 1, inhale. Exhale, curl that pelvis towards you, soften your ribs, and then release and relax. Take a little breather. You can kind of move into knee circles if that feels good. So hopefully we found a little bit more space in the lumbar spine back of our body. A little bit of a stretch. Glide the legs so that the knees are right over your hip crease. Hands just a little wider than hips distance. Drop the weight over to the right side of the body and make small circles on your right glute with your legs on the far side of the wall. Massaging the back of our pelvis. Try to stay anchored in your left shoulder. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Take a little breather. Heels click together. Drop the bottom leg down and then lift back up. Bottom leg down. Last 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Back up through center. A little bit of a weight shift over to the left. You're on your left glute and start making circles with your legs, massaging the outside of your left glute. Last 4, 3, give me 2, and 1. Little breather, hold, heels click together, bottom leg drops, and lifts, and lower, and lift, and lower, and lift, lower, and lift. Drive the heels together, 4. Last 3, give me 2. And last 1, all the way back up. Carefully draw the legs towards your chest, and then slide that foam roller out from underneath you and come all the way up. The foam roller is going to come behind you. Let's lengthen our legs out, and maybe we have just a little bit more of a stretch or more of a looseness through our pelvis and our hips. The foam roller is behind you, and bring your hands on top of the foam roller. Sitting on the sharp edge of your sit bones, slide the shoulders back and down. Start to turn the wheel of your pelvis and slide the forearms over the foam roller to open up through your chest. Then push down into the foam roller to lift all the way back up. Turn the wheel of your pelvis. Slide the foam roller up your arms, widening your collarbones, then push energy down into the foam roller, scoop into the abdominals and lift up. Nice and tall. Turn the wheel of your pelvis. Inhale. Exhale, scoop and curl back up. Let's do once more. Turn the wheel of your pelvis. Turning, scooping, widening, and then curling all the way back up, nice and tall, lifting it all the way up. Let's go ahead and flip now. We're going to lie. I'm on my right side. So a lot of us might not know it, but we can get a lot of tension and stiffness, tightness along the inside of our leg line. Make a pillow with your bicep. Lay yourself all the way down. My body is strong and straight. The foam roller is in front of me. I'm going to keep one hand on top. I'm going to bend my knee, and I'm going to lay it on top of the foam roller. So we're going to massage, and we're going to release the inside of our thigh. Now, if we're runners, that may be really tight for us. So some of us might feel it tighter at the knee, and some of us might feel it tighter deep into the hip socket. So from here, with your shoulders and your pelvis, you're going to shift your weight into the foam roller, and then you're going to pull back. Shift your weight into the foam roller, and then pull back. So it's just gravity that is dead weight of your leg on that foam roller. Last 1. Shift forward and hold. Now from the knee, extend the leg and bend. So you're flexing that adductor, and then you're softening it. Flexing and soften. Maybe you feel a kukunk. Maybe there's like a thud as you feel the ripple of your muscles flexing. If it's really tight, maybe make a smaller range of motion. Last 1, extend. Take a little breather here and just really let that weight feel soft on the foam roller as though it's like dead weight. And carefully bending it, pull back in. Now that foam roller is going to roll an inch closer to you. So we didn't move our body, the foam roller came closer to our body. The leg is still bent. We're just starting now more in the middle of our thigh. Shift your weight forward and then pull back. Shift your weight forward and then pull back. Forward. So some of us might feel that it gets tighter as we draw closer towards our pelvis. Some of us might have felt the tension right around our knee. Slide out and hold. Now again, this weight is just dead weight, and we extend and bend. Your shoulders are still in line with your hips, and your hand is on the foam roller, following along with the movement. Last 3. Give me 2. Last 1. Back in, bending. Now from here, I like to roll onto my elbows. So my hips are kind of pointing down and my shoulders are now pointing down, and I'm going to roll deeper into that foam roller. The foam roller comes right up against my pelvis, and then I soften back. Roll deeper into that foam roller and then soften. My back leg is down on the mat for support. I'm kind of rocking my pelvis to the left and then pulling back to the right. Last two. Roll it deep into the pelvis. Hold, extend, and bend. Extend. Flexing that leg and then softening. Last one, flex and soften. Extend all the way out, hold. Go ahead and make a pillow with your hands and rest your upper body for just a moment. Kind of softening your leg is like dead weight into that foam roller. I even feel my pulse. And then carefully roll that foam roller back down as we come all the way off the foam roller. We'll flip to the other side. Make a pillow with your bicep, lay yourself all the way down. Your body is straight, holding on to the top of that foam roller, then bend the knee and place the leg on top. From here, again, shifting shoulders with your pelvis forward and back, and forward and back, and forward and back. Last one. Reach all the way out and hold, then extend and bend. Extend. Sides may be different too. Your right side may feel tighter than your left, just like your knees may feel tighter than the inside of your hips. Last two. And one. Take a breather, just kind of let dead weight, picture it's just relaxing over the foam roller, it's just melting. Carefully bend and pull back. Lift the leg and roll the foam roller towards you, just a little bit more. Same thing, shift forward and back, and forward and back. Press forward and hold. Now extend and bend. Extend and bend. Last one. Softening the leg around the foam roller. I always try to picture that I'm letting the foam roller in. Then bending the knee, carefully rolling so that you're on your forearms. You're going to shift your weight deeper into the foam roller and then pull back. Deeper into the foam roller and pull back. Now, the softer the foam roller, the better. The harder the foam roller, it might feel very acute. So just kind of meet yourself where you're at. Last one, hold, sinking your weight into that foam roller, extend and bend, extend and bend. Last one, reach out and hold. Let's make a pillow with our hands and just soften our body down onto that pillow real quick. And again, I want you to try to inhale to release that thigh and picture that you're kind of letting the foam roller in, softening around it. And then carefully propping yourself back up. You're going to slide off that foam roller. Let's move a little bit through some Mermaid before we move into some extension. So hopefully our hips feel pretty open now, that we can find a nice Mermaid position. If this is too much for your knee or your hip, you can always lay the leg straight or find a crisscross too. That works as well. So kind of find what works for you. My left hand is on the foam roller, opening my right arm out. We're going to wave like a sea fan, kind of rocking a little bit side to side. I want you to feel a little bit like you're going to slide your ribs over first and then soften and round. Now lift your ribs up and pull yourself back up. slide, kind of like a typewriter, and then round and wave and lift. Last one. I'm pushing down into my foam roller to lift up. Let's turn now. Both hands come onto the foam roller, and our rib cage is rotating separate of our pelvis. Push down into the foam roller. As you start to slide the foam roller away from you, it rolls up towards your forearms, and you're stretching underneath your armpits, your lats. Inhale, widen to the ribs. Now exhale, widen your collarbones. Push down into the foam roller. Spiral your thumbs up towards the ceiling and start to lift head, neck, chest, reaching forward. And then inhale to soften back and down. Exhale, widen the collarbones. Lift head, neck, chest. And then inhale, soften back and down. Last two. Can you feel like the lateral side of your tricep is pulling down towards the mat? And last one. So you're standing into your arms from the width of your back. Reaching, and soften all the way back and down. Carefully pulling back up through center. Nice and easy. Bring the right hand onto the shin. Circle the left arm up and over. And I want you to actually cradle your head with your hand and turn your rib cage down towards the floor. And inhale up towards the ceiling. Curl down towards the floor. And up towards the ceiling. Last one. Inhale back up and soften and release. Carefully flip now your legs and move the foam roller to the other side. So same thing here, if that Mermaid is available to you, or you can find that modified runners, or you can find a crisscross. My right hand is on the foam roller, left arm opens out. We sway, sliding your rib cage, then lifting your obliques back up. Sliding your rib cage, then lifting your obliques. Let's do two more. Waving side to side, lifting. And last one. All the way back up. Carefully now turn. Both hands come onto the foam roller. And again, you're going to push down into the foam roller to start to roll it up the forearms as you melt towards the mat. Inhale, widen to the back of your body. Then push down into the foam roller. Spiral your thumbs up towards the ceiling. Start to widen your collarbones and really feel like the center of your back could release forward. And last three. Inhale to reach. Exhale, widen and lift. And last two. Inhale. Exhale, widen and lift. And last one. Inhale. And widen and lift. And soften all the way back down. Start to scoop the layers of abdominals, picking yourself all the way back up. Left hand grabs the shin. Right arm opens out, up and over. Cradle your head and look down towards the floor and up towards the ceiling. Down towards the floor and up. And last one. And carefully bring it all the way back up. We're going to move into some swan. So bring the foam roller towards the front of your mat. And we're going to lie down, prone on the mat. Reaching your fingertips forward towards the far side of the room. Keep the tops of your shoulders quiet, the sides of your neck soft. And I want from here, the thumbs will spiral up. And I want you to inhale, reach towards the far side of the room. The shoulders will lift. sorry, I did that backwards. Let's spiral the thumbs down as you reach. So internally rotate the shoulders as you reach. Now externally rotate the shoulders, spiraling the thumbs up as you push down into the foam roller. Start to glide as though someone's grabbed your ears, your head up towards the ceiling. Inhale, internally rotate and reach. Exhale, externally rotate, push down. Start to lift the layers of abdominals, supporting that lumbar spine. Reach, inhale, and exhale, widen and pull. Lifting up, maybe just a little bit higher each time. Feel the back of your arms go to work. Last one, inhale. And exhale, widen the collarbones, lifting up, head, neck, chest, lengthen. And soften and release. Nice job. Take a little breather. Let's move into just a little bit of a full body stretch real quick without the foam roller. Foam roller is going to stay nearby. The hands are going to come down along beside us. We're going to kind of move into that same extension stretch, but I want to add a little bit of leg work and a little bit of rotation. So if we remember the first sensation when we were lengthwise on the foam roller, the candy cane wrapping, I want to kind of come back to that. Soften the shoulders back and down. Feel a little bit like the elbows are pulling towards your hips or your heels, all the way back there. Now inhale at the bottom. Exhale, start to push down into your hands as you lift head, neck, and chest. I want you to push just a little bit more into your right arm. Look over your right shoulder. Reach your right leg behind you and get a stretch through the right waist. And then soften back and down. Exhale, push, lifting up. Start to swivel over, pushing energy into that left hand. Look over your left shoulder and reach through your left leg. And back down. Push and reach and soften. Can you keep the shoulders quiet and feel from the center of your back down into your arms, your triceps reaching. And last one each. Push and lift, soften. Push and lift and soften. Carefully pushing the hands down into the mat, lifting up. Sit your hips back and take a little stretch. Find your child's pose. Rounding through the spine, can you come back to that same scoop we had earlier when we were lying on our back? And that feeling, I've compressed the front of my body, so I'm going to inhale into the back of my body. Maybe the head softens. Last one. Slowly start to stack yourself all the way back up, grabbing onto your foam roller. You can lay it lengthwise facing towards me. And we're going to come seated on the foam roller. I actually really like sitting on the foam roller because I feel like it elevates my pelvis just enough that I can really sit on my sit bones. And so it's kind of a nice prop for those of us that feel that crisscross is very tight. So from here, circle the hands behind you, grabbing on underneath the foam roller, as though you're going to like thread your hands underneath to help drop your shoulders back and down and kind of create this resistance. You're kind of pulling the foam roller up, but the foam roller is anchored down. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Now that left arm is really anchored. Maybe your fingertips are touching the mat. Maybe you feel like you're scooping the foam roller from underneath. Start to rock through the head, dropping it down towards your nose, towards the chest, over towards the left, and stretch. Now the right side. Keep anchored in that right arm. Widen your collarbones. Lift through your heart just a little bit, and really feel like you're stacking all your vertebrae and growing tall to the top of your head. Maybe start to make it just a little bit bigger and you start to lift the chin just a little bit. Then circle down and around, over Widen your collarbones and lift. Ooh. Get a big stretch all the way. Nice big circle. Last one. All the way around. Carefully dropping that head down towards the center and then stacking it back up. Keep your hands where they're at, slightly different stretch. Look towards your right and feel a little bit like you're pushing your left hand into the foam roller. Now I want you to slide your jaw away from you, kind of like you're a barracuda with a really bad underbite. And stretch the side of your jaw, side of your neck. Carefully come back through center. Look towards the left. Drop that right shoulder back and down. Feel the right side of your neck, pec, arm open up. Now push your jaw away from you, stretching the side of your jaw from your ear to your chin. And then carefully come all the way back up. Soften your grip on the foam roller, easing out of that stretch. Let's roll the shoulders back and down. Nice and easy. Hands can come beside you. We'll take one big inhale. Think about laterally expanding. So let's actually start really deep, deeper than that. Think about inhaling down into your pelvis, wide into your ribs, and then shallow into the top of your shoulders. So on an inhale, we'll inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and then hold for 4 counts. So inhale, hold, and exhale, and hold. Once more, inhale, and hold, and exhale, and hold. That's it. That's class. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay well.